There's only one that can do what Caitlin Clark did. Bring all those eyes. For pure basketball purists, there's nobody like her.
Ever wonder why some WNBA players get hives whenever her name is brought up? It's as if they're allergic to success that isn't their own, and Caitlin Clark has been putting on quite the show lately on the court. I don't know if you saw, but Indiana Fever shared a video of Caitlin yesterday, and the caption was just her accolades. It took me a few minutes to read, and I thought, girl, do you want to chill at all? She doesn't know zero. You know, I believe this is probably the simplest choice to make, as she has won multiple times, Forbes 30 Under 30, SBJ's Business Athlete of the Year, and the Associated. In this video, we'll break down Clark's recent record-breaking accomplishments, what this means for women's sports, and why the WNBA and jealous WNBA divivas just can't seem to deal with reality. Are you ready to let's go? There's a lot to be proud of, and it goes by so quickly that it's difficult to appreciate in the moment. Press Female Athlete of the Year Clark's trophy case is getting crowded, and the WNBA's social media accounts are acting like your ex who forgot to invite you to the party. Let's examine this phenomenon. Caitlin Clark's rookie season was nothing short of extraordinary. We're talking about a player who averaged 19. You know how some rookies make a big impression? Well, she just produced a tsunami in the WNBA, and the repercussions are still being felt. 2 points out of 8, 5 and 4 assists, 7 rebounds per game. But let's not stop there. She also led the league in assists and three-pointers made, which is exceptional for any player. In fact, she broke 62 records during her career, not just in college. Caitlin Clark's impact off the court has been equally as impressive, as evidenced by the fact that during her rookie season, WNBA merchandise sales skyrocketed by 500%, not a typo. We're talking about a 6-fold increase. It's as if Clark waved a magic wand and suddenly everyone wanted a piece of the WNBA. But it's not just about selling. The Indiana Fever broke the WNBA home attendance for a single franchise. I believe the Mystics in the Fever game was the most viewed WNBA game ever in history, single game attendance. The WNBA is reaching audiences it has never reached before, and Clark's presence has changed the game for the entire league. We've never seen someone so successfully capture an audience, attract a new audience, and be able to clearly attribute actual numbers and statistics to their popularity, like 19 million people watching, and definitely watching the national championship. Sports economists are paying attention too. One expert, Theo Laviol, called Clark a lightning rod for women's basketball, and she's not wrong. In terms of raising the profile of the sport, Jordan set a new standard. Therefore, even if it doesn't reach the same level of success as this season, the expectations, interest, and investment will be much higher. Let's talk about the numbers for a moment. Clark's presence is estimated to have generated a whopping $36 million for Indianapolis. This is the kind of impact that makes team owners and city officials take notice, but the real twist is that Clark's influence goes beyond simply increasing the WNBA. Laviol predicts that the total value of professional women's basketball will raise by $1. What does all of this mean? Well, it's obvious that Caitlin Clark is more than just a fantastic basketball player. She's a phenomenon who is changing the game both on and off the court, attracting new fans to the sport, and making a significant economic impact. In other words, she's the kind of superstar the WNBA has been waiting for a long time. The WNBA has been trying to get on this global scale, and I feel like that's the direction they are finally headed. I believe that WNBA fans have always been proud supporters and pushers of the league's advancements, but sometimes it takes a certain star of a certain caliber to really just expand and explode the league from the inside out, and that's what Caitlin Clark is. However, some people in the WNBA community aren't happy about this rookie sensation, and that's a whole other can of worms we're about to open. Now, you're going to cut down 22-year-old Caitlin Clark, who has changed the game on her own and brought in millions of other young fans and old fans. How about the college basketball ratings? How about the fact that she broke records in her brief WNBA career? It would be a win for everyone. Record after record, and your own organization acting as if you don't exist sounds crazy, but let's be honest for a moment. In most professional sports leagues, when a rookie steps up and dominates like Clark, it's time to celebrate. Consider the NBA and how they hyped up their generational rookies, LeBron James, Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, Victor Wembanyama, and others on social media, and featured them in league promotions. From day one, they were treated like royalty. So why don't we? Let's celebrate Caitlin Clark's greatness and her bravery. When Clark was named the Associated Press Female Athlete of the Year, it was a huge deal. However, the league's response was a retweet. No congratulations, no special write-up, no proud moment, just a cold, emotionless share talk about a lukewarm reception. Now compare that to how the WNBA treated Candace Parker when she won the same award a few years ago, and they went all out with a dedicated post highlighting her accomplishments and displaying genuine pride. This is why Clark is treated differently. Going out of style, and the WNBA's social media accounts have been more subdued than a library. There are no congratulatory posts or hype videos, and it seems like they're actively trying to avoid acknowledging her success. What's happening is that fans are taking notice, and they're not happy, and they're wondering why the league isn't taking advantage of Clark's popularity. After all, we're talking about a player who's attracting new fans, increasing merchandise sales, and creating a lot of buzz. What's going on here, though? Is it jealousy, resentment, or are there internal politics at work that we don't know about? Whatever it is, it's obvious that something's wrong with the WNBA. If you thought the league's response was strange, wait until you hear about some of Clark's teammates. It turns out that some WNBA veterans aren't exactly thrilled about sharing the limelight. If you've watched this far and are enjoying the video, please remember to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. We understand that watching this video takes up some of your time, and we appreciate it. Now, let's get back to the action. What little girl wants to grow up and play in a league where you're targeted like that? How do you sit here and profess and demand that everyone take? For instance, Wilson, the three-time WNBA MVP, should be confident in her own greatness, but it seems that's not the case. In the article, Wilson questioned the criteria for Clark's recognition, suggesting that her accomplishments might not be solely based on performance. Wilson's name is Wilson Wilson, and she quotes, "It doesn't matter what we all do as black women, we're still going to be swept under the rug." This is why it enrages me when people say that it's not about race because it's actually Asia that's the path you want to take. But wait, there's more. Wilson reportedly turned down a lucrative offer to join the Unrivaled. According to league sources, she was offered more money than Clark. Coincidentally, this information was conveniently leaked less than 24 hours after Clark declined to join. It's as if Wilson is trying to say, hey, look at me, I'm still relevant too. Did you see how many people showed up to watch Caitlin Clark play golf with actual attention economics at play? Caitlin's participation in any league has an existential bearing, and nobody outside of Asia cares whether Asia shows up. However, no one even asked her about it, which is crazy because nobody asked, and people close to Asia Wilson chose to respond anyhow. Next up is Angel Reese, the LSU star, who has been attempting to match Clark's fame since their NCAA showdown. According to Reese, she's been on a mission to remind everyone that women's basketball isn't just about Caitlin Clark. In her own words, however, the reason we watch women's basketball is because of me as well, and I want you all to understand that even sports commentators are picking up on the jealousy. Vibe called out Reese's post-game comments, stating that they showed a small amount of resentment and jealousy towards Clark. I don't think I'm surprised that Caitlin Clark won Time Magazine's Athlete of the Year award, but I'm curious to know who the other candidates were. The thing is, this behavior isn't just petty, it could potentially harm the league as a whole. Oh, but the award for most unexpected shade goes to WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes. You would think that she would be all about supporting the next generation, but nope, Swoopes publicly questioned the criteria for Clark's award, implying that other players like Asia Wilson deserve similar recognition. Come on, Sheryl, there's enough spotlight to go around, Sheryl. All things considered, the WNBA is at a pivotal juncture in its development, with Clark attracting new fans and media attention. However, rather than leveraging this momentum, some of the league's biggest names are occupied with playing high school mean girls Asia Wilson in that was just basketball that well. That's what I'm saying. So was it just the performance on the court, or is it global? I think it's everything. Think about how this looks to new fans, sponsors, and young girls who aspire to play in the WNBA. It's not a good look, and this type of internal drama could undoubtedly have a significant impact on team dynamics and the league's marketability. What's next? Will the WNBA's veterans learn to accept Caitlin Clark's success, or will the green-eyed monster continue to run amok? One thing is certain, though, the drama isn't limited to the court anymore. While the players are busy venting, the fans could get burned. That's all I see. They've worked so hard to gain respect for women's basketball, but now they treat it like a junior high school girl's locker room. Speaking of getting burned, the media's coverage of Clark has been intriguing, to say the least. Are you prepared to take a look at this rising star? Breaking records left and right now. Picture half of the sports world applauding while the other half squints suspiciously. Welcome to the bizarre world of Caitlin Clark coverage, where praise and scrutiny collide in the most unexpected ways. Let's face it, sports media isn't always a bastion of objectivity, but the way Caitlin Clark's story is being told is like watching two different movies at once. On one side, you have media outlets that aren't specifically focused on the WNBA, her impact on viewership, and how she's changing the names of Iowa's Game Time magazine. No objective person would consider Caitlin Clark's selection as the WNBA's Athlete of the Year's Athlete of the Year as controversial, but if you turn the channel to WNBA-specific media, the tone abruptly changes. Instead of celebrating her accomplishments, you get skepticism, and they seem to be looking for any excuse to minimize Clark's impact. I don't know who all the other players are. I don't remember everyone who was on the list, so I'm not sure if this applies to everyone, but a lot of what I saw for.